set of questions, and that's to do with foreign exploitation risk. And this question goes to Immigration and Citizenship Services Authority. There are ongoing concerns regarding foreign nationals participating in activities reserved for PNG citizens. What are the most common compliance issues identified by immigration in the alluvial mining sector?
Thank you, moderator. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you, Chairman of the board and MD IPA for inviting immigration to be part of this very important conversation. The lucky last baby, we are at the end of the process, I would say. I think we have had many very good presentations about our regulatory regimes that is existent, and we have also had a message from our minister. If he was here, he would have said more out of the script, because he is very passionate about us working together with everyone, all the landowners, to ensure that we play our part in ensuring that they benefit from the land that they own. So, with regard to reforms that was mentioned earlier, ICSA agrees that we need to seriously look into aligning some of these regulatory frameworks that we currently have, especially with regard to the reserve list. We have seen a presentation by the MRA, an agency that we have worked with before we issue the work permits. My division is the one that issues permits. That's work permits and also entry permits, passports, APEC. And we are at the far end of everything. I think a presentation by IPA talked about the licensing. We ensure that we see a copy of those licenses before we issue the work permits. In the past 2 years, we have seen an increase on the alluvial mining companies registered. So far, in the Wau, Bulolo, Morobe province, we have about 50 plus. And we have held 100 plus work permits that have applied for work permits under the tribute agreement. That's tribute agreement is something that is foreign to immigration laws, but we learned along the process. We wanted to know what does it entail. So, some of the steps that we have taken is assessing why are we issuing a work permit to someone who is going to be doing scaffolding in the alluvial mining sector. But they say there is a license there. Why are we denying our license? And some landowners come to us and say, why are you holding back on the work permits? You need to give it to us because we have an MOU with this company because we don't have the funds. I think a very good outcome of research that was talked about today, the constraints in accessing finance is some of the things that we are working with the landowners. And our office is here. We have a good collaboration with the landowners. We ask them to come and talk to us because they claim that we are denying their right to be in business with foreigners. But as to how many goals have been taken out is not our business. What we are doing now is going back and inspecting what the permits that we have issued under our immigration laws. And that's just the permits. And I think earlier on we talked about the JASCO, Joint Agency Task Force operation that is very effective. Last week we had that in Kokopo, East New Britain. There is one currently going on here. 86 people being held, and there are 22 as of today being processed. And we have found out that some of these people, like Mr. Parker was saying, they use other companies somewhere else, saying they are working for big Chinese firms, sorry to name those particular group of people. But when we go into the field, we see that they are operating cranes in a mining field. So, you know, these are the sort of things that I think the Joint Agency Task Force would be looking at. We look at it from the immigration perspective, while IPA looks at from the regulatory registration, so as other agencies like MRA. We are looking at penalizing them, sending them back home to where they came from, banning them from coming back, but they are also recruiting other people to come back and take their places. So those are some of the challenges that we are having and are seeing, and I think going forward, I would like to think that better coordination in a more structured way with everyone would help in ensuring that the benefits go to the landowners. I was also asked, if you have time, drive up to those places and see what alluvial mining, what licenses we have issued under alluvial mining and what is happening in there. I'm told that there is environmental destruction in there that comes under different agencies' responsibility. But we are just dealing with the human beings. What about other penalties? So those are things that I think we are available to ensure that we work together in collaboration to ensure that our citizens. I think earlier on the chairman talked about the goals and directive principles. Number 4, it's all about natural resources and environment and benefit from what we have, and I think we have collective responsibilities to ensure that we protect them as well. Thank you.
Can I just add a little bit on to what he said? Look, you've heard it. This is what I've been talking about for too long. The only way we could change this, and the solution to this is simple. Just ban them from getting involved in anything to do with gold and alluvial. You will see the production and the money going through the system increase like this. It will be shocking. And more money will come back into the country. And we don't have to beat around the bush and try to catch all these rats. Let's stop them by law. If we legislate and we ban them, I tell you, we will change this country. There's a lot of money going out, and this belongs to these poor Papua New Guineans that could build their homes and build a good life for themselves in the village. We're not allowing that to happen, and that's really, really sad. It has to happen. Something needs to be done. It has to happen.
Well, thank you for those feedback from ICA and further commentary from Mr. Parker. Just before I provide moderators concluding summary, just one 30-second question to each of you. If you can respond, if not, that's fine. What is the one policy or regulatory reform that would most improve fairness, transparency, and local participation in Papua New Guinea's alluvial mining sector?
Maybe for me, I already sort of alluded to that. Just change the law. You know, in Botswana, they've actually enacted it. 50% belongs to the people of Botswana. There's no negotiations. This is even for big projects. But I mean, even for the alluvial, we have to have clear laws. Because like I was saying, for PPNG, if IPA and the NRA can have that as a reserve list, we'll include it in the conditions. And we'll implement it. But we can't do anything without those laws. And we are not responsible also for those laws. It's this other, so, you know, the challenge is here, you know, for us. And we can be able to work together, you know, as government agencies to see how we can be able to make it a, you know, even more affordable for our people to be able to get involved in that kind of business. Thank you.
Just to add on to that, I think it's important to stress that there are incentives that are given to larger mining and petroleum companies. These are things that if we improve the laws on alluvial mining, these are incentives we can give to those type of taxpayers also. So that's to add on to the improvement in the regulatory framework around that, especially since the artisanal miners are the ones mining on their own customary land. These are policy changes, things that people within that sector can raise with Treasury to think about concessions to give to them, just to allow them access to funds and just a relaxed tax regime for those type of entities or those type of people.
Yeah, I think the most important thing in that is to make it beneficial to the country and to individual miners. You know, like we've already said, we make the legislation and ban these people. We ban foreigners from involving in any gold activities. Unless you're a big miner, you get involved in export license and you deal with the gold. And if you're not, you don't touch gold, you don't even go close to any form of gold in this country. That way, That way, you will see a lot of money floating within our system and our society, as well as at the same time, when you look at the exploration licenses, that's another issue. I have a few exploration licenses, but I'm holding it in protection of the local, simply because these Chinese people have come in, and what they've done is they've just gone in and registered ELs all over the place, taking up, you look at the map now, it's all covered by EL, exploration license by these people. And that needs to be revoked. Any exploration, any alluvial deposits in the country should be reserved for Papua New Guineans only. Only. Okay? That's the only way you can create wealth for your people. One black hake, narpla benefit. And we need to protect. This is why it needs to be protected. And it's very, very important that we do that. And you know, I hold a exploration license just to protect the locals so that I don't get any foreigners coming in and applying through their own one-talk system. They've got Papuans that they use and abuse. And we've seen like what happened to Samsam, where the people got killed. That was part and parcel of that as well. Those are the sort of destructions that they leave behind for us. You go and look at the way they mine. I operate a mine, and I invite all of you to come up and have a look at my mine. See how I'm operating compared to them. I'm probably the only one that's regulated properly. I follow the rules and regulations of my country. And I do everything by the books, and I'm being penalized. I'm being disadvantaged. That's the thing. The issue is I'm being disadvantaged. Because these people can get away with that, and I can't, because I want to follow the law of my country. All my staff are on nest fund, you know, and they are not. You know, all my staff are well looked after. I got accommodation for them, I got food, everything for them on site. And I look after my staff. They don't treat our Papuans the way I treat my own. And it's sad. You know, and if you look at the operations up there, I probably have one of the best operations in Waubololo, or maybe in the whole alluvial sector. But it's really, really sad when I'm competing against everybody else, especially the foreigners. You know, that with the licensing as well. You know, the licensing is very critical, because I can sell to a Chinese in PNG who's got an export license, and they make more money than I am exporting. That's the fact. That is the fact. You know? But I choose not to. That's the truth. Because what is happening is that money, when I sell to them, I'll pick up the money at one of the Chinese shops somewhere. And that gold will never go through the system. And one thing that I can say with MRA and Central Bank here, I think I reported the issue with, like I said before, there was this incident, there's one exporter, Chinese exporter, exporting to himself, you know? And he's undervaluing the gold, 37% or whatever. I've never seen 30% gold in my life in PNG. I've never seen one area. Waubololo is the lowest, 48% is the lowest you'll get. And they buy from all the high-grade areas, and they're exporting 37%. Undervaluing, money laundering. There, you know? What's happening? This country is gone to the dogs. If we stop these people from touching this, we will see so much money floating in our system. We will recover from our FX issues. You know, we're not doing this because we are buddies with them. That's the problem. That is the biggest problem. And until we do that, we need to protect this. It is very, very critical for this country and for our people, for the benefit of us, you know. We're struggling, everybody's struggling, but this is the lowest hanging fruit and the ripest that could change a lot of lives tomorrow. And we're not taking care of that. And I don't know what more low hanging fruit we're looking for. I don't know. When they bend over, they see a different fruit hanging there. I don't know what they're looking at. Because that fruit that's hanging low and very ripe, they don't want to pick. Thank you.
Thank you. Just from my end, I think, yeah, reviewing the laws will help in a big way. At the moment, we have some are conflicting, and then maybe if we make amendments to the current laws that we have, provide support to the citizens. I think the previous presentations talked about all these constraints, access to funding and training. I think if we identify that, maybe that's a better way to ensure the maximum benefit to the landowners. At this stage, what we are seeing from our laws, immigration laws, there is a big gap. We do one thing, they say, you have done the wrong thing. At the end of the day, we are answerable to the parliamentary inquiry. asking us, how did you end up giving these permits to these people? But we said it's because the landowners asked us. I tell you a story. One landowner company, we sent people off. They came appealing. Why did you send them off? They need to come and help us. Because we engage their service to come and train us on the use of excavators. But we're telling them that 60 days on a business visa is enough for them to transfer the skills and knowledge. So that's just one example of what we are seeing from our angle. If we change it, I think we can protect Papua New Guineans better so they maximize benefits from the land. Thank you.
Thank you, panelists. Let's wind up now, and today's discussions highlights the need to strike the right balance between protecting opportunities for Papua New Guineans, enabling responsible investment, safeguarding landowner interests, and ensuring that alluvial mining contributes meaningfully to local economic development. Effective licensing, stronger enforcement, transparent tributary agreements, and better interagency coordination will be a critical factor in achieving these objectives. And ladies and gentlemen, let's give them a big round of applause. Great panelists for the great and very relevant responses to the questions that I've asked. And thank you all, and thank you, MC.
All right, thank you for the lively engagement. Moderator, we will need you up on the stage. Don't leave yet. There's a photo session. And also we've got some gifts for the presenters since in the morning till now. So while they are leaving, please give them their gifts on the way down.